Good morning, merhaba. It's really great to be here. I love Istanbul, and I've been working in telecom related businesses for the last 12 years as a futurist. Many of you probably don't know what a futurist is. Anybody know what a futurist is? Okay. A futurist is somebody who's looking forward the next 5 to 10 years and then working backwards to reinvent what people do. There's famous futurists like Alvin Toffler that you may know from the history of futurism, and there's also people like Ray Kurzweil who are infamous for their futurism. My work is very much focused on the next 5 to 7 years. And the key question really is, what is going to happen in 5 to 7 years that will help you reinvent your business today? And when I was preparing for this event, one thing that is for certain, of course, is that risk will increase. Right? That's probably not new to you, but given that everything in technology is now exponentially faster and bigger, some of the things that we're seeing every single day, they look like science fiction. If you look at movies like Minority Report, Blade Runner, Oblivion, some of those things in those movies are actually real now. For example, real-time language translation is here. You can use an app called Say Hi. Do you remember? You may have tried that sometime. It's $2 for this app, right? It's very powerful. You can speak in real time and have it come out in 24 languages in real time, and the other way around. This is true science fiction. The other day I was in Japan ordering sushi. I was speaking in German. She heard it in Japanese. She responded in Japanese. I heard it in German in real time. Okay. Then there's things like big data, artificial intelligence. Almost every single web product that we use, from Google Maps to Google Now to, of course, Amazon, Netflix, has artificial intelligence in it, which means it emulates what people used to do. Right? I'll give you some great examples on this, the way things are going. So my job really is, this expresses my job very easily. I take very complex scenarios and I bring them down to the, hello? It's not working, okay. I have to go back to the old-fashioned way of hitting the button, I guess. Nope. Sorry about that. We tried this earlier, there you go. Okay, so bringing complex things down to the bottom line. And of course, the telecom business is pretty complex. About 1/3 of my work is in telecom, working with carriers and technology companies, and the other one is media, marketing, and tourism, a few other key turfs. My company is called the Futures Agency, and our motto is, it wasn't raining before Noah, when Noah built the ark. And this is something that we use a lot to talk to people, because when you're doing well, it's actually a good time to think about the future. When I worked in the music business, I used to be a musician and producer, and later on the internet. I worked with the record labels 1999 to say, the music is going to move into the cloud. Right? Music will be just a click on a button and then you get music. And in 1999 they said that it may be true, but we don't like this. Right? We don't like the idea of technology doing this, right? So they refused, and what do we have today? We have 71% decline on revenues in music, because it happened anyway. So we're going to take a couple live polls, and I assure you that the internet here is not working very well. I'm sure you've tried. So if you have 3G and you can roam, then it's better off if you're using that. We're doing some live polls, and all you have to do is go to this web page if you have a smartphone, paulev.com/futuristgert. We're not doing a poll now. This is just for a heads up, okay? But on this system, I have 250 slots for voting. So if I only see 14 people voting, then I know you haven't voted. And what happens if you don't vote? You don't get lunch. Yeah? Anyway, so we have rapid digital transformation in all sectors of society, right? Worldwide, really. And it's interesting to see that the so-called developing countries are taking the lead, actually, on some of these changes. And some of the business models I'll talk about are actually perfectly suited for developing countries rather than developed countries. This transformation is things like Imagine you have a bookstore. Today, if you have a bookstore, people come to your bookstore, they look at the book, and they scan the code with their phone. Then they go to Amazon, where the book is 3 times as cheap. So rather in Switzerland, you go to the bookstore, it's 40 Swiss francs, like 30 euros. You go to Amazon in the store and order it for 6 euros. And that is pretty much happening everywhere. Now in many restaurants that you go to, the waitress has been replaced by an iPad. So this is actually a big trend in restaurants. You fire half of the waiters, you use an iPad to order, and the other people bring in the food. You shortcut this. The Google self-driving car, you familiar with the self-driving car? It's going to be a while before it gets real. But assisted driving, for example, driving on a highway in a chain of cars, that's already becoming reality. So rapid transformation, starting with the original World Wide Web, 1984, of course. Now, this is a major driver of change called big data. I'm sure you're familiar with that. But big data basically today means that we have a huge growth of data, but we're only using like 0.05% of this intelligence in the data.